All right, this video is called How to Embody Faith and Overcome Problems. People are often unreasonable, illogical, and self-centered. Forgive them anyway. If you are kind, people may accuse you of selfish, ulterior motives. Be kind anyway. If you are successful, you will win some false friends and true enemies. Succeed anyway. If you are honest and frank, people may cheat you. Be honest and frank anyway. What you spend years building, someone may destroy overnight. Build anyway. If you find serenity and happiness, they may be jealous. Be happy anyway. The good you do today, people will often forget tomorrow. Do good anyway. Give the world the best you have, and it may never be enough. Give the world the best you've got anyway. You see, in the final analysis, it is all between you and God. It was never between you and them anyway. That was a powerful poem out of this book. There's a Spiritual Solution to Every Problem by Wayne Dyer. Let's try to, and there we go. Cool, so the poem was actually called The Final Analysis by somebody, but you couldn't find The Final Analysis. And I think this poem was very powerful for me for a couple reasons, right? But the value that I hope this video brings to you is just, again, some clarity around these perceived problems that we have and how we can, move forward with this concept of faith that's so talked about in any major religion or spiritual text or spiritual practice or principle, right? So I think, at the end, right, it says that it goes through this list of problems in a poem. It goes through, if the world treats you this way, do it anyway. And in the final analysis, it was never between you and the problems, never between you and the people, never between you and the world. It was all between you and God. So what does this mean? Well, the way I interpret it is that when we have perceived problems in the world, that the world is not showing us what we expect and how we feel we should be treated, and we're not in alignment with how God wants us to live and who God wants us to be on earth, that's when these problems tend to manifest. This is when these problems tend to show themselves, right? It's like, as soon as you start getting off your path and start, quote unquote, messing up, then that's when all these problems occur. So the question is, like, is it the cause and effect? Is it you doing the quote unquote sin, or you messing up, or you not living in full alignment in one area? Is that was producing these problems? I think what that poem was trying to show was that it's not the problems, it's the perception of the problem. It's the perception that I'm battling against some enemy. I'm battling against this lower self. I'm battling against, a version of myself that's in a battle with God, right? When actuality, and that's a lot of times, like, where the mind wants to go when it hears it's between you and God anyway. It's like this battle with God. When really we're playing this game with God, but when we're not talking with God, when we're not using him as the coach, when we're not going to the huddle and tapping in and getting to play, when we're not following what he says out there on the field, it's hard for us to win the game. God is the coach. God is the coach for a reason. He sees the entire field. He sees the entire playbook. And when we're not in that relationship with him, it's hard to win. So what keeps us out of alignment? What keeps us out of relationship, right? Because that's what alignment really is. It's like a relationship. It's like a union, right? And that's what yoga means, right? Yoga is a spiritual practice that involves the body, the breath, the spirit, and its intention is to unify all three of those parts of you as a human in order to connect more to the divine, connect more to who you really are, which is everything, which is God. We're all connected. We all have that spirit of life within us. We all have the breath of life that was blown in us that doesn't carry any weight, but provides this spark of passion that literally, has the power to change the entire world, which it has, right? So we're all connected in this way. So the question has to be like, what is this unifying, connecting force or power or energy, if you will, that keeps us all connected? And if it is true, like if the unifying force is truly a unifying like force, then that means if we lose it, then we lose connection, and this is where we feel this misalignment. Well, I think based on my study, based on what I've seen, based on this book and learning from great teachers, the greatest of them all, Christ, I think that energy, that unifying force, that supreme law of the universe is love, right? It's unconditionally meeting the needs of something. And in my opinion, that's the purest interpretation of love. And we're going to get into some definitions, but I think where we miss the mark the most is when we fall out of love with ourselves, and therefore we can't love others properly. So then all these problems start to arise from, people treating you bad, or, a relationship not working here, or a friendship not working here, or you're not able to thrive in this area, or you have low self-esteem, you have low anxiety, you have low depression. I think it all can be summed up in experience based on a lack of self-love, a lack of self-appreciation, a lack of connection with who you really are, which is a big key in love because, again, it's the unconditional meeting of needs. Well, most people in society have been brainwashed or conditioned to believe that a lot of their wants are needs. We think we need that food. We think we need that donut. We think we need that pussy. We think we need that car, girl, insert object, material, anything other than God here, right? When the only thing that we need is God. The only thing that we need is love, right? So when we replace those needs with wants and we try to fill that void, it's not going to be filled because it's not fulfilling enough. It doesn't have enough juice to go round. But love and passion and these intangible, quote unquote, attributes of God, these are the things that not only fill our cup, but allow us to have the power to fill others' cups. And hopefully your cup is getting filled from this video. So practically speaking, how do we love ourselves better? How do we give ourselves what we need better? Well, there's many different interpretations on what we need as human beings to thrive, to be healthy, to grow, to become the best version of ourselves, right? And you can look at Maslow, he got his hierarchy of needs. Tony Robbins, he got his 6 human needs. God has his needs. I think, again, it can be summed up as love, but breakdown of love is this process of growing and giving. Because another one of the laws of the universe, and I think we can learn a lot through studying the laws of the universe, is that if something's not growing, then it's dying. So one of the laws of love is life. Life is love. Again, I alluded this essence, this energy, this spirit to life through breath, through trees, through what makes things grow and shine and be bright, right? So in order to love, you need life. And if things aren't growing, then they're dying, aka not living. So practically speaking, you need to be growing in order to experience not only life, but love and self-love. So it's constantly developing yourself, constantly learning, constantly studying, constantly pouring back into your mind and expanding your not only intelligence and knowledge, but understanding, and then going to apply that understanding that you have into real life scenarios and having the experiences of life teach you, so that way you gain wisdom over time and are able to have a deeper understanding of the principles that you learn. So I think that's very important. And then another principle I believe is replenishing the earth, is can be used literally, I think, which is have kids and give to the earth your seed. But in a more metaphorical sense or a philosophical sense, the seeds of wisdom that you give others, or the seeds of your labor, the fruits of your labor that you give others, the gifts that you are given and that you develop and that you grow and that you continue to cultivate, that's what you're meant to give to the world. That's what you're meant to give back to your other brothers and sisters here on earth. So I think both of those laws of the universe, when it comes to growing and giving, which we can observe on any fruit tree, any seed, which the Bible talks about a lot, and on this side of YouTube we talk about with holding in our life force energy when it comes to semen retention or seed retention. That silver lining of truth that seeds are here, are meant to cultivate, are meant to grow, and then are meant to give back to from which it came, I think is a silver lining of truth that's present throughout life, and I found to be present throughout my life journey, which has really helped me to again have more emotional stability and overcome problems and difficulties a lot easier, understanding this truth and placing my faith in not only the laws of the universe, which are true, but ultimately my faith in God and what I believe the truth to be. So again, growing, giving can still be considered kind of vague and still like, okay, it's kind of esoteric, that's kind of out there a little bit, but like how do I really know? Well, if those seem vague to you, I think that's because there's still a process of self-awareness, like the skill of self-awareness that needs to be developed to understand the areas of life where you're not in that full alignment with your God level potential, or who you're truly meant to be, or the maximum version of love that you could give yourself. This higher self version of yourself, like you still haven't, like, I don't think none of us has like fully transcended ego yet. So in order to tap in order to get those insights, in order to make progress in these areas, I think it's real important for us to tap into our heart. Because where is love housed? Like if you were to guess, where is love located? You ask a kid, where's love at? Oh, love's in the heart. It's kind of like a obvious cliche answer, but I think there's some truth in that when it comes to a lot of times we think about our problems, we over analyze and come up with all these different logical pathways of problem solving, but like tapping into our heart gives us that direction, and then that gives the brain the ability to problem solve. So the heart has to lead, and then the brain has to be the horse to like get it done. If you understand what I'm saying. A lot of times we let our brain lead, we overanalyze, and then we just go with it, but our heart may be telling us something else. Our heart may be saying in this direction. It say, that don't really feel right, but everybody going to the party, so let me just go, because if I don't go, I'm gonna have this fear of missing out. Then when you're doing all these calculations, that's when you know you done for. When you in your head, you're dead. So living from within, living from the heart, living from the sense of I need to fulfill my own needs as a human being and give myself the healthy things I need. Like you don't need, a lot of these material things, I feel like. You just need God, and you just need self-love, and you just need the right foods. You just need, to listen to the right vibrations and put the right stuff in your body and listen to the right material and cut out toxic people and do the practices, do the habits. But again, I don't want to just be tactical. This is more like a hierarchy and mindset, how to think about the problems, because for each of us individually, we're different stages of our path. I may have to eliminate one thing from my life. You may have to eliminate another. Another person may have to add a habit. This person may have to add a habit. So whatever that idea of growing and giving fits in for you and where you're falling short of like fully living in the maximum potential of love that you have, that's where you can bridge that gap of where you are to the best version of yourself, which is your God self, which is your fully aligned self. And this is going back to the poem. I said it's all between you and God anyway. It's all about bridging that gap, because once you bridge that gap, your perspective changes and the world that you see changes, and these perceived problems tend to disappear. Because a lot of times people are just mirrors. They're showing you who you are or who you believe yourself to be, rather than the truth, or rather than really what's going on. Because we're that powerful. We're that powerful. So I want to end it with scripture. Since we're talking about love, I think love overcomes problems. I think love overcomes all fear or any of the bull that we deal with in the world. So straight from the Bible, like, how can we, like, what is love? And while I read this, I want you to consider like how you can love yourself better, and then starting with loving yourself, you then put yourself in a position to love others the best that you can. But it all starts with that self-love. So love is patient. Love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud. It does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, and always perseveres. So I love how in this love verse, this is 1 Corinthians 13, verses 4 through 8. I love how it starts with love is patient, which I agree. And I think that might be the number one area where most people lack in their own self-love journey, and where I felt like I've been lacking the most in mine, which is patience of the journey, because patience is the language of faith. You know you're being faithful when you have patience. You know, you're prepared, you're moving, you're growing, you're still making progress, but you're patient because you know no matter what, the outcome is going to happen, which is ultimately what faith is. So I'm gonna end it here. Hopefully this video added some perspective to your life that is able to help you in some type of way. And again, for making things pragmatic, what should you implement? How should you take action from this video? Is by being more patient with yourself. Understand that it's all working out, and when you have faith in positive outcomes, they tend to happen. So just by you practicing patience, practicing not worrying, practicing not having fear, practicing not observing the problems, practicing not looking external but looking inside, to where you can bridge the gap of becoming a healthier, more productive, more righteous version of yourself. The faster you make that shift from external problems to shifting what you need to shift internally, and then having ultimate faith in the outcome by exercising your patience, that's typically when I notice the manifestation process happen the quickest for me. And yeah, hopefully it will do the same for you. So if you like the video, comment what you want to see next. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.